100 Days of Gratitude, day 11, and today I'm grateful for homesteaders. Here I am up in Water Valley visiting some dear friends, Bruce and Don Kay of Early Dawn Farm. They hosted me for a chocolate making workshop, and though chocolate was the theme, to me it was more about being here in their community, connecting with people, and a part of their ongoing series of workshops to connect people to skills of traditional living, self reliant living. And though I dabble, I'm interested, I try and am building my awareness in that realm. At the end of the day, I'm a city dweller, like that's what I've grown up in, that's where I live. But the lure, the fantasy, the lifestyle of the homesteader has an appeal, and beyond that, it plays a very important role in our culture, in our society, as just a thread, back to our roots, our ancestry, what is real, our kind of modern day way of living, as amazing as it is actually so fragile. It literally, like the supply chains that keep us going, the just in time, that everything is there as we come to expect it. We literally take advantage of everything that we have access to, from power sources to food to you name it. It's all handed to us. All we have to do is just work a 40-hour work week, exchange that money, that currency that we earn for those goods and services. But it could literally all get disrupted. It could be all over in a moment. And I really love the idea of the homesteading lifestyle. Not to say that I'm not trying to romanticize it, that it's hard work. It also has its dependencies. It also has its kind of fragility to its own systems, but it's a little bit more rooted. It's a little bit more grounded, and I think it's essential from a perspective of survival of species. Right, like if anything were to happen, any sort of cataclysmic event, any sort of disruption in supply chains, the homesteaders are going to last out a little bit longer. But I would say, beyond that scenario, first, most importantly, there's something so nourishing, so gratifying that comes with that type of lifestyle. And I've, gotten into food and food making and production from a perspective of, yes, health, but also as a way to, reconnect to something that is so authentically, inherently human. And that's an aspect of, being a homesteader, living a traditional lifestyle, is, preparing all your own food, growing your own new food, raising your own food. But so is, harvesting, energy off the land in the form of firewood, having a well or a creek that you're getting your water from. There's so much to the homesteading lifestyle that, yeah, has that kind of, however large or small, like kind of like built-in insurance policy to, our way of life as we know it not existing. So there is that element, but most importantly, it's very nourishing, right? Not only literally from the food that you are growing or raising yourself right off the land. To see that is physically nourishing, but also more deeply, emotionally, spiritually. There's something that we get as humans from doing that. There's a real tangible, intangible nourishment. And, Bruce and Don are an example of people who are doing that, living that, and then sharing that. Those of us that are from the city, like that are attracted to that, that see like, hey, something's missing in modern life. What is it? What's beyond there? Why do I feel in an emptiness? And I think, coming out to these spaces, coming to nature and seeing a life more deeply immersed in nature, in more traditional living, traditional skills, there's absolute value to that, beyond all the reasons that I've mentioned. So grateful for those that are out there, those that are doing it, those that are, just starting on the path, who have an eye to getting land, to those that have been doing it for decades, maybe even, following in the footsteps of their parents, their ancestors. It's a beautiful, wonderful thing, and something that, there's the trend over the decades, over the centuries around the world where people are leaving the land and moving to the city, and it cannot be understated the importance of those that hold down the space of homesteaders, living that old traditional lifestyle, and of course adapting to kind of modern times, but having that foot in the past is incredibly valuable. It's incredibly nourishing if you're one that's going to do it. It's a lot of hard work, and it comes with its own rewards. But it's also critical, I think, just for even that small chance of the human race. If someone needs to know and can maintain that knowledge, this is knowledge that has, and ways of life, ways of living that has maintained humanity for generations, right? Our modern way of living in cities in this kind of industrialized society, it in the spectrum of humanity is just a blink in time, and I don't see it as future sustainable, especially the way that it's going. This kind of almost dystopian nightmare of where it could go. Hopefully, it doesn't. That I think there can be a beautiful life lived in the city. I mean, I'm an example of that. I'm trying doing my best. And I admire the more traditional way of life, and I honor that more traditional way of life. And even though I don't live it every day, I try and engage in different practices like food preservation, of fermentation, or just dabbling with gardening, that type of thing. Because inherently, intrinsically, it's something so nourishing to us as humans, and something that on whatever level we can engage in. And so to get out here to, see it being done, being part of these communities, learning these skills is something incredibly wonderful and something I'm super grateful for. So, yeah, what about you? What do you think? The homestead lifestyle. Are you living it? Are you dabbling in it? Do you look at it from afar? Are you happy being in the city and just knowing that somebody else is out there doing it, holding it down? I'd say that's me. I want to have feet in both worlds. I do recognize my place in the community is, in the city, but also as a bridge, bridging to a more, yeah, life rooted in nature, in the countryside, rural. So, anyways, those are my thoughts for today. 100 Days of Gratitude, day 11.